Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Hey, Nick Collier here. We got a little shorty today that you might enjoy. The guy that if you've been watching, I made the plow for. He's getting married in about a week, and at the last minute, he and his wife thought, or he and his future wife thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a bell? And so they gave me a call, and I happen to have this little CO2 bottle laying around, and I'm going to make a bell out of that. Okay, so far we've gotten this far. I found this really great old, really heavily rusted steel ring that I'm going to put on top of this, the plumbing fitting. That'll go like that. And then they want a manzanita branch to go in here somewhere, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but I think what I want to do is kind of set it up this way and run the manzanita branch through it this way to get a nice finish and also a place to hang. So that's a good start. We're going to go back in, we're going to weld this so that we get a nice bead there, and it doesn't have to be super strong because all it's carrying is that, but we'll do that and I'll be back. Okay, let's see what we can do about throwing a nice bead on top of that. Okay, first thing we want to do is clean off all of this rust and kind of prep that area, or else the weld's never going to stick to that. Okay, I found a little piece of, what, about 5/16 stock or something like that. We're going to cut about a 3/4 inch piece off of it. All right, we got ourselves a piece. Let's go over to the welding table. Okay, we're all set and ready to go here. Let's do a little preheat here just to make sure that we'll get a nice clean weld. Oh, I'd say that's about as good as it's going to get. We'll let that cool down a bit and we'll come back. All right, Nick Collier here, and we're at the tail end of this bell project, and I just got a couple more things to do, and you know, I'll bring you over to the bell in a second, but right now we're going to run a piece of brass rod around this shaft here. Now, of course, brass wouldn't do that normally, but we've got a little trick. All right, well, we found ourselves a plug of steel that's about the same size as the place where we're going to put it, and we take our torch, crank this baby up, and since this is brass, it's fairly soft, but we got a 1/4 inch rod here, so that's going to be a little bit harder. Now what you have to do is just basically take it up to just dull red, and you have to be willing to waste a bit of it because it never quite pulls in right away. You get it up to the piece itself, and then just continue to bring it around. And it'll pretty much follow the contour of the metal that you're going around. So we're going to get a nice circle here. And there we go. I think that's it. Oh, maybe a little bit more. That should do the trick. Now, of course, it's pretty hot at this point, so we're going to dip it in water and we'll be back. Now, literally, this thing is gripping the plug of steel, so you have to really kind of pound it out. But eventually it pops. If you check it out, this is a bit big for our piece. So we're going to trim that down and then take it over to the anvil and bring our circle back in a little bit smaller before we cut it off. So we'll go over to the anvil right now. And this being reasonably soft brass, we can pretty much move it around, getting it smaller as we go. Let's see here. That's a bit smaller. We're going to take it over to the wood and give it a try. Yep, I'd say that's just about right. In fact, it might be a little bit too small. And that probably will do the trick. And we'll be back. All right, we're going to bring it over to the saw, and we're just going to lop off this bottom edge here. Okay, we got ourselves almost a full circle. And this is kind of where playing around with it comes in. You notice that as we come around, the circle makes a dive. So just run it, put it in the anvil or in the vise. Not very tight. And throw a little crescent wrench on it. Straighten it out. Notice that we're just a little bit off, and everything else looks pretty good, pretty tight. So we're going to bring this one little edge in. In fact, we could probably just do it right here. Yeah, there it is, right there. Almost a full circle. By the time we get it on there, you won't be able to tell the difference. Now we're going to take it in and throw a fast buff on it because it's looking pretty sad. And we'll be back. All right, so we got our buffer up and running. We'll put a little bobbing compound on there because this is in pretty bad shape. Hit it on there and it just brings it right back. And I know from practice it's time to put gloves on. Okay, so we put that on there. That's just a little sleeve that I had laying around. We put this on top of the sleeve and then slammed it with the hammer until it's spread open just enough for it to fit on top of this. Now we get rid of that and we go over and get the leather mallet. In fact, let me just get it. We can just slam this thing on. Maybe. Okay, it's not going to go on that easy. How about putting it on this? Yeah, look at that. Okay. Boom. We almost made it. A little bit more. And we're there. Okay, so nice and snug, but not too tight. It's still got an opening there though, and we need to kind of close that up. But since it's brass, it doesn't have a whole lot of spring action. You can pretty much close it back up without too much effort. There we go. Closed back up. All nice and pretty. Looks good. I'm going to try to swing this around to the bottom. I'm not sure it's going to go. Yeah, it's going. There we go. This one's a bit loose, but this one's nice and snug. Okay, there it is. The bell. Let's ding it. See how it sounds. Gotta pick it up. We've got a pretty good sound. I can't hold it up. Wait a second. Let's put it up on the crane. Okay, now let's give it a ding. I'd say that bell's got some game. Now here, I'm going to bring you in, because I want to show you this part here. And it was, probably 5-6 years ago that I went to this garage sale, and this guy had this old chandelier. It was just a piece of junk. I mean, you know, it had been sitting in a house for maybe 100 years or in a barn or something like that. But this was hand wrought. And if you look at the chain links, each chain link was hand wrought. It's just pretty amazing. And also the links are pretty old and they're worn deeply in between each link. I mean, not deep enough to, you know, break or anything like that, but just beautiful chain, all handmade. And you know what? I'm guessing 100 years old or at least. So this thing probably had about 8 or 10 feet of chain on it, because there was chains everywhere. And as I said, it was a piece of shit. But I scavenged the chain off of it, and I'm going to, not going to, I already did. I put the chain on this piece here so that this couple, and this, by the way, is a wedding bell, and so that this couple could have, you know, could have a nice finished bell. Okay, well, this was a nice little simple project. We're going to ring the bell one more time. Oh, let's try it with something a little bit different, like a metal donger. Whoa! And hey, this is Nick Collier. Subscribe. We have a good time here. We do all kinds of weird stuff. Subscribe, tell your friends about me, and hey, keep checking in. I do something a couple times a week. I put something up. So Nick Collier here, checking out.